Hey everyone, my name's Jenna Bloom and I am the Associate Director of Strategic Partnerships at Broadloom. So for those of you who don't know me, I work very closely with John Weller, and there's a lot that he's taught me about this industry. It's been fun, of course, as you can imagine. But before I started working at Broadloom, probably around 5 years ago, I actually worked in digital media planning and buying for brands such as Jameson, Pernod Ricard, Coca-Cola, US Army, Sprint. And when I came to work at Broadloom on flooring, I was really surprised about how little there was about digital media just in this industry with such big brands. So what I work on with John is we actually partner with manufacturers to help provide the independent retailers with digital tools to help simplify the shopping experience for the consumer. So I get to work with awesome clients like Dixie Group, Hallmark, JJ Haynes, and they're providing us with assets for you guys like visualization, sample ordering, and all that fun stuff. But enough about me. I want to pass it off to these lovely ladies right here. Susan, do you mind giving everyone an intro?
I'm Susan Weller. I am the founder of Flooring Careers, which is a specialty recruiting agency totally designed to support you, flooring retailers. In addition, we also do business with distributors. We also manufacturers. We also partner and work with commercial, residential contractors. And the common thread is flooring. We've been doing this for a number of years now and absolutely love what I do, the people that I work with. And, you know, hiring is supposed to be fun and recruiting is supposed to be fun. And the joy that we have when we talk to people and helping them kind of build that bridge, bringing good candidates to you so that you can keep doing what you do as you run your business, taking that task and time off your shoulders. It's a lot of fun, and we've been very successful, and I'm looking forward to telling you just a little bit more.
Awesome. Rachel, you mind giving a little introduction?
Absolutely. My name is Rachel Berlin. I am one of the founding members and one of the facilitators of one of the best communities that we have in the flooring industry, I believe, the Women of the Flooring Business. Woo. Thank you all for being here. So what that group does is we help to empower, we help to lift up, we help to support one another in our day-to-day activities. One of the things that I've been called in my past is a squeaky wheel. I'm the one that asks all the questions. You probably have known that if you're on any of the Facebook groups. So with that being said, I think that if I have a question, I have a feeling one of you is probably wondering the same exact thing, and hopefully we can help one another through that journey. Another thing that I do is I am a flooring manager for a showroom in Wisconsin, and I've been in the flooring industry for over 16 years, so I have a little bit of retail experience and I have a little bit of hiring experience, so
awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we're here today to talk about the hiring and retaining of employees in a challenging economy. And so I think it's no shock to everyone right now that the economy is like a little shooken up right now. But, you know, I think something that might be helpful to everyone in this room, you know, on top of everything that's going on with the economy right now, is how crazy the flooring industry has also changed in the past few years, just with everything digitally. So Susan, what would you say are some changes you've seen parallel to this when it comes to retailers hiring new employees?
Sure. At Flooring Careers, we are privileged to partner with companies that range from $2 million in revenue to $2 billion in revenue. So we hear a lot. It is truly what we consider a partnership. And just like everything in life, it's constantly changing, it's constantly moving, it's never stagnant, and it's never boring. When you think about, for a minute, just kind of flip back in your mind through history, and think about when, after the wars, when people would come home and they were looking for jobs, what did they do? They took a job for any amount of money, and they hung on to it for as long as they possibly could. And then fast forward We had another situation where, people would be maybe graduating from high school and they would go into the workforce and they would have a job and they would work that job for the next 30 years. Very loyal. So you had jobs out of desperation that they would take positions for any amount of money. Then you had situations where people were so loyal they took that first job and they partnered with that company all the way through to retirement. And now, fast forward to today, what we're seeing is candidates are looking for not only a partnership, but a quality of life. And how that is defined could be excellent, better hours. Nobody wants to work till 10 o'clock at night anymore. They don't want to work 7 days a week. And the cycle that we're in at the moment happens to be candidates. They are the ones in the driver's seat. And some of them have been pretty demanding, kind of making it harder for you to hire. They're maybe asking for, more perks, more benefits, better hours. They're asking for, flexibility, whether that's flex time work or remote work and all these different things. The good news for you is a lot of the periodicals and things that I do to kind of help stay up on trends is there is a prediction. Now, this is a prediction, so take it for what it's worth. I'm not a fortune teller, but they're saying mid-2023, we're going to start seeing a shift again, the shift that we had before COVID, which is putting you as business owners back into the driver's seat. So I consider that some good news because it's challenging when you're kind of having to appease so many different people on so many different levels and work within your budgets. So there is going to be some type of change. And one of the things that you need to take away from this today is while you have this time, while you are building and looking and continuing to grow your business and educate yourself, what can you do to prepare for that next pivot? Well, number one, go back and review your job descriptions. If you are not able to take a role and spell out those responsibilities for that role and communicate that clearly, not only on paper, but to that candidate, Houston, you got a problem, okay? You're not gonna hire top-tiered candidates. You're gonna hire kind of mid-level because you're not able to communicate. Also, if you are using the same compensation plan that you've been having for the last 10 years, it's probably time for a little revamp, a little update. And those are things that I'll be glad to talk to you more intimately about, but those are just two of the things that you need to be preparing yourself and gearing for this next change as we plan ahead for 2023 in order for you to be successful.
Yeah, definitely. And I think something interesting, I think, Rachel, that you had brought it up when we were chatting before this was also as a company, what can you do to, make your place an appealing place to work as well? Because I think, really leveraging social media, and even I call LinkedIn social media because it is a place to be social, right? But what are some things that you have done to, people are looking for your company,
Right.
You want to make it appealing?
Right. Just as you would your flooring projects, you need to look attractive to attract an actual candidate to your company. So if you're only showing flooring, we all love flooring, we get it. If you're only showing flooring, it's fine, but you want to show your team, show them having fun, show them doing things. Also show your installers. If you're hiring for installers, show what they do, show a day in the life. Those are really important things. And another piece to that is, I think a really fun activity that you can do with your staff, if it is part of the team that you're actually hiring for, one of those candidates, is go through an activity where you actually list the worst characteristics for that position. Have fun with it. I'm just saying, get your team involved, have fun with it, list those characteristics down, and then flip the script. And then build your ideal team player. Build that candidate. Find out what all those characteristics are. You're gonna find that your team has a lot of input because they're gonna be the ones that are actually working with this person.
Yeah.
So those are some really good activities that don't cost you anything. If you're gonna have a staff meeting anyways, you may wanna do one of these activities and get the input of the team because they essentially would be working with that team member as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I've got to say something.
Yes.
So I love always hearing about all the wonderful things that you're doing at your store, and I love watching you and seeing you, and I just want to compliment because
Thank you.
it's amazing, and you do so many positive things, and it has that ripple effect. And I will tell you, true story, Just last week, I was hiring for a store manager in the Northeast, found an A-plus candidate, amazing. And this candidate had kind of gotten caught in the crosshairs, as sometimes really good people do. The company had been sold. She was able to very quickly secure another position within the flooring space, had years of flooring experience, management. Long story short, she didn't come in as a management at her current company. She was working currently in sales, and she's making about $45,000. And I was like, I've got great news for you. I have a position 2 miles down the road for about $65,000 with benefits, good hours. And we started talking, and she said, I think I know who you're talking about. And she said the name, and I said, yeah. And she said, fat chance, no go, I'm not doing that. And I said, well, tell me why. This is a 20,000 plus bonus. And she said, I have a friend that works down there. I've been in that store. Their products are outdated. They have no culture. It's boring. Literally, these were her words. And I said, well, maybe you could add a spark of life if you came over. Remember, we're talking, you're getting completely your own draw versus commission now. You're getting a salary position. She said, no. And she said, where I'm working is fun. Granted, 2 miles down the road. She said, it's fun. My manager listens. I am hosting December 6th a event for women because she wanted to reach out to the real estate group. She wanted to reach out to some interior designers. And her manager was open, and I got tickled because he said, sure, I'll give you some money and you can have a beer and pizza party. And she said, oh no, I'm having Prosecco and a charcuterie board. But she was so excited to be able to implement that. And then she talked about they had, the camaraderie among the team was fantastic, and that they had a popcorn machine in her store. And she, for those reasons and the culture, she'd been there for 10 months, was not leaving. And I think that's a pretty powerful testimony. So I encourage you, just like what Rachel was saying, you've got to promote within your store, promote your people, put them out there, and don't be afraid that someone is going to snatch them away, because if they're happy and they love what they do, remember, the trend at the moment is quality of life. They want to be happy where they're working. They want to be able to have a communication pipeline with you, that you're listening. And the 2 top reasons that I find candidates and quickly place them is, 1, communication. Either I was told I was going to be trained and I'm not getting that training now because they're so busy they can't stop what they're doing. Or maybe the job description was not clearly communicated, so they don't feel like they know what's going on. And then the second reason between communication is culture. So those are active things that you need to always be complimenting and building within your business. So I think you do a great job, and I love some of the things that you've done.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think company culture is huge. I mean, at Broadloom, it's a little tough for us because we all are remote, but it's even like the little things, like when we get a new employee, we use Slack to talk, and we have a welcome channel. And a new employee starts that day, and HR will announce the new person, their role, and the whole company is part of that channel and just gives them a warm welcome. And it's like with a Giphy or whatever it's called. It's the cutest thing. And just little things like that, definitely don't look past them, because I think that's huge. So my next question is, let's say we got the perfect employee, we hired them. Rachel, what are some things that you do at your store to retain those employees and that good talent?
Yeah, it's really great to get to know that new teammate, and something that a few of you may already have gotten or seen in our groups on the Women of the Flooring Business public group on Facebook. I shared a document that I use personally, and it is a team member profile. And all that is a bunch of questions for you to give out to your team to fill out about themselves. Who doesn't want to talk about what their favorite restaurant is, what their favorite food is, what food they don't like?
Their pets.
Their pets, things like that. I mean, you can make this your own, but what that does is it allows you to learn about that teammate without actually like interviewing them for all those questions. They turn in that sheet to the manager or to whoever is hiring. So you have that little bit of information, and that's a free thing that you can do. I actually would have everybody on, do this on Monday. Pass this document out to everyone on your team. Everybody wants to give a little information about what they love. Another thing we do is we actually give everybody their birthday off, and that's a paid holiday or a paid day off for them. So that's something that's a little different, might stand out as something that would appeal to a potential candidate. And we just really want to welcome them and allow them to learn from each one of your teammates. I think that's really big, that they feel welcomed as a new member of your team, because often they're gonna kind of sit back and observe for a little while, but it really is helpful that they get to know, the warehouse manager, your accountant, who's gonna be doing maybe the greeting in your showroom. So allow them to get to know everybody.
Yeah, I love that. And I think there was another story you told us too about something your store did for a woman who she just had a kid, or her kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ours,
That was
of
special.
course. Yeah,
Yes.
we've realized, Susan had mentioned earlier, is that we do have to be a little bit more flexible with scheduling. And of course, the showroom hours that you hold are very important. But with that being said, we have a teammate that, she has a teenage son, and none of the rest of us have children. So what she did is she asked if she can, instead of having one day off a week when she works on that Saturday, which is the rule that we kind of follow with the rest of our team, is we actually allowed her to leave an hour early each day. And what that allowed was that she could get home and help her son with his homework, and that his grades can improve, and she can have a little bit better relationship with her son. And she also has been a lot happier at work. I think that just, you wanna really bring that up with your teammates, and just make sure that, you can't do everything for everyone. We get that. And you can't be fair, what they would say fair, in every single situation. But talk with your teammates and see what works. And that's really, if you keep those lines of communication open, and you consider what might be something that's helpful for them, it's gonna be probably a win-win for both of you.
Yeah, and then to switch it back to you, Susan. So you kind of mentioned this before, but what advice would you give the people here in terms of why there is turnover? And I think you kind of touched upon maybe unhappiness with communication and trainings and culture, but is there any specifics in terms of trainings? What should they be doing more, I guess, with trainings? And
one of the things I think that I hear over and over and over as business grows and opportunities and technology, you can have someone who may have 20 years of flooring experience, but they have zero use of technology. They're still doing it pen and paper, or that's not their comfort zone. And that would be probably one thing, whether you're, and this is something that Rachel and I talked about, something that you could do that's quick and easy is if you have certain protocols at your store, do a little video clip that's 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, however long. Put those in your break room and let them watch them so that they can see that modeled action, whether it's where things are supposed to go, processes and procedures, or how you're supposed to greet someone or approach someone, the verbiage that you're using. That is such a simple thing, but it keeps and takes time off of you as a business owner. You don't have to do that over and over. You've already done it once. You've got it on video. They can do a checklist and have that again in the break room or wherever, and have that recorded that they've watched it. It also gives you that kind of coaching tip. And then, you all have great partners, business partners that you work with technology. Continue to ask for opportunity to, hey, can you help me, train this person that's coming in, or I've just hired 2 new people. Do you have some resources that we can use? Because technology is not going anywhere. It's just going to increase and be more of a valuable tool. So probably educating in those just little snippets, I think, would be something I would suggest for sure.
Yeah, I think we need to demand a little bit more from our vendor reps.
Yeah, I think so, definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
We need to demand that. I don't want to say demand, that sounds bad and negative. I think we need to ask them nicely if they can help us with our new hires.
Yeah.
We were talking about some of the ERPs, and I'm not going to say a name or anything like that, but You know, there's great videos out there, but we also can ask them, we're paying them, we can ask them to do a separate training, like Susan was mentioning. Can you do a short training for my new hires? If they say no to you, that would be really bad. They really should never say no to you. Also with your new hires, and when they do a PK, you know, sometimes we have to train our trainers a little bit to ask them to actually, you know, these are people that have never been in the industry before. We need to really like make sure that they're spending the time, that we're talking about actual customer interaction questions. Maybe we have to coach them a little bit. These are the questions that our customers are going to be asking us. So putting a little bit more real life situations into play. So I think we need to demand a little bit more from those sales reps. They're great, but you know, they could be doing a little better.
Yeah. I get it. And I think something that you said was really interesting was I feel like there's like two types of candidates that you guys get. And there's either one type of candidate that has years and years and years of flooring experience, but like zero technology experience, or there's kind of the opposite where it's, okay, maybe they don't have the flooring experience you're looking for, but they have the people skills, maybe some technology skills. What would be your advice to the people in this room who are dealing with like the two types of candidates? If there's one better than the other, or it's,
you know, and that's kind of like a mixed bag because with the clients that I work with, and we have a lot and they're all across the board. And that's the funny thing is that everybody works with flooring, but wow, everyone is so unique. It's like children. No two of them are quite the same. Everybody's doing a little something different. But I have some clients that absolutely request me not to find somebody with flooring, that they want to be able to train that person as they want them to see their company and perceive their company without bringing their baggage of the how-tos or what they've done in the past. And then I have those clients that they only want to look at flooring. You know, they want to find someone that has some flooring knowledge and experience because they don't necessarily want to train them. They feel it's really hard. And yes, there's a lot to learn in this industry. So that's kind of like honestly a mixed bag as far as those two are concerned.
Can I add a note to that?
Yes.
Just like installers that come to you that have 25 years of experience, it doesn't mean that they're doing it the way you want them to do it. Same things with sales and design.
Yeah.
Just because they have all of the years of experience, that's also doesn't mean that they have the sales and design and people skills that we want. So we have to do a little bit better of a job to ask those right questions when we are, you know, in the interview process. I think having a phone interview is a super smart way to save yourself some time. If you think that this person's resume looks somewhat good, if you want to really, you know, have that conversation, get on the phone with them. You're going to get a really good feel. And I have a rule: if it's not a hell yes, it's a no.
Well, and the other thing too with that is that when you're, you know, talking with people, there are certain things that you can coach and you can teach someone, but you can't teach people skills.
Right.
You can teach features and benefits all day long and they're going to get that. But you've got to be able to have that person that does have that spark, that get up and go, those good, you know, verbal skills. I even, in interviewing, I'm checking for not only are they speaking well and they have a little spark of interest, you know, a little that makes me go, wow, I'm interested in that person. But I'll also send them an email because I want to see how they are responding time-wise and how their communication style is coming back.
Yeah.
Because I think that's also important because now using technology, many of you are getting leads, they're coming in, you're not only calling them, you're emailing them, and so you need to make that person sure that that person is writing a complete sentence, as basic as that sounds, punctuation, spell check, all those good things. But it's important because why? It represents you, and you've worked really, really hard to get to where you are.
Yeah, so definitely. Well, I think that's all the time that we have. But if anyone has any questions, we are going to be in, what room is it again? Tucson D, or just Tucson?
C and D.
Tucson C and D. So Rachel and the rest of the women of the flooring business are hosting a happy hour. It's open for men and women, so everybody's included.
Oh, and if I may,
if
you have any questions,
yes,
we have a website, Flooring Careers. Go to the website. You can send me a little blip if we don't catch up while you're here, or if something after the show when you get home and you have a question. We are truly designed to help you. My husband has been in the flooring industry for a long time. My father-in-law's been in the flooring industry, and I love this workspace. I love what it stands for. I love the relationships. I love the family, the values, and the opportunity that we have in this workspace truly is so unique. So keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Keep plugging, go forward, be strong, and be well.
Yeah, love it. Well, thanks everybody.
You guys.